Hello, 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 and welcome to another gameplay day wildcard deck building guide with tips. Today we are doing Neva or Neva. There is contention on how it's said, so you can say Neva or Neva. Um, I personally say Neva, but I've also heard people that are making this game call her Neva, but I've also heard people making this game call her Neva. So I don't know. I'm gonna say Neva, like never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. But Neva or Neva is a all-around champion. So she is good at both offensive and defensive plays. She's your all-arounder. She's great for everything. Great for new people, but especially good for experienced people. And we're just gonna show what she's got and all of the good stuff. Now, do keep in mind that things can always change, and some of the things in here might not necessarily be true because this game hasn't officially been released yet. So things are constantly changing, monsters are constantly changing, characters are constantly changing, abilities are constantly changing, and how they work. So just know that. But yeah, let's get into it. Her first thing is dash, which every character has, but for her, she rolls forward, and if I remember correctly, it actually will make your backpack disappear. So when you dash, you'll lose it for a period, and then it'll come back. That might be because the backpack is launching you out or something else. I don't really know. That's my understanding of how it's going to be, but it might stay where she keeps it. I don't know. I personally like when she keeps it, but it's also fun when you lose it because it does make you more vulnerable, but it makes your attack stronger. So one of her things is that if she doesn't have her backpack on her, her backpack robot, then she does more damage. So it's a trade-off between defensive and offensive. So you really do get to be an all-around character. You get to be the offensive character. You can just dash forward, get that extra damage boost, and start going to town. Or you can be that more defensive one and staying there, taking the hits, but having that extra health slash armor to be able to take those hits and defend. So very fluid in how she can move. Her special is an EMP, and what it does is it hacks and suppresses opponents in an area. So, if the enemy cards are mechanical cards, the metal ones essentially, then when she uses her special ability, what will happen is they will then become a part of your team for a limited time. During that time, they will act as if they are on your team and will begin to attack the enemy team. So if you only partially EMP some of the mechanical enemy monsters, they will begin to attack the other enemy monsters, and they will help defend or attack whatever you're doing when you are advancing or retreating. And basically it'll give you an extra boost additional in the amount of monsters you have for a limited time. So it's really useful for both defensive and offensive abilities. Let's say that they are attacking and they have out one of the metal unit's spawning unit. I forget his name off the top of my head. We'll see it in a second. Or let's say they have Shell Shock or Beakit or Deadeye. Basically, any of the metal monsters, the mechanical ones, they will then be on your under your control for a little bit and start attacking. So let's say team advances, they've got a bunch of those in there. You have used your mana because you were just on the offensive, so you retreated, and they're advancing with those mechanical ones. You can run up in there as long as you have the life for it, like the health force for it. You can run up in there, just get up in there and use your ability, and then it'll make all those monsters your monsters for a limited time, and then they'll start advancing for you and pushing back the line on the enemy team, possibly, depending on how many monsters they have and if they're all mechanical or not, and what have you. So you can use that to your advantage in defense, turning defense into offense, at least for a limited time. I forget how long it is. Let me see if I can find it, actually. Because I was privy to a little bit of information. So maybe I can find that out. I don't know how long. I know what the cooldown is, but I don't know how long. Okay. It's fine. But anyway, so you can use that defensively to offensively, and additionally, with her EMP, with non-mechanical monsters, it will silence them, so they won't be able to use their special effects. So let's say you have an enemy Ragna who has out a burnout and a tail blaze. When they're attacking you, they will apply fire damage to you because they both ignite. What this will do, it makes it so they can't use that ability. They'll still be able to hurt you and attack you, but they won't be able to apply that fire ability because it silences them. I mean, honestly, that might actually just make it so they can't even attack for a period if it's a true silence. Um, I'm going to go under the assumption going forward, just for the heck of it all, to say that is a true silence, so they can attack you. Just make explaining things more fun and easy. So you can just run in there, even if they don't have mechanical monsters, and you have like two monsters on your side. You can run up in on their big guys and then just silence them. This also does apply to. No, it does not apply to players, which I'm totally okay with that. That would honestly be kind of. Actually, no, it does. It does at least. Neva can do it, at least I know, to other Nevas. I don't know offhand if it does it to the other ones, but because Neva has mechanical, it does affect her. It's affected me before. If you watch my build a bot deck no commentary video, you'll see at the end of it where the enemy Neva hacked me, and so I couldn't use hacked on her. And that's why she was able to attack my stationary units a lot better, because she hacked, and I got caught in it. I was like, ah! But I digress. Yeah, so you can use it to at least silence the enemy Neva and all of the summons. So, I mean, it's really versatile. If you have a Infernus or Jans coming up on you, you can silence them, not be able to make their abilities and not be able to attack. So Janus isn't going to do their ranged attack or time dilation, and Infernus isn't going to be able to use their flame breath. Spore probably won't be able to replicate. Vocab won't be able to spit out lava drops. Beakit won't be able to throw out their attack. All of that. So like it's a powerhouse special. It's really good. The cooldown is it's pretty decent. So just be wary of that. But it's a powerful ability, so make sure that you do use it. I highly recommend that you use it. It can save you, or it can really help you in your advancing. It's great defensively and offensively, just silencing monsters and taking control of monsters, being able to change the tide of the battle almost instantly with it. Like it's a good ability. Sidekick, their name is EXO, and EXO is a great ability. Absolutely great ability. Use it as much as you can. If you don't, you're doing it wrong. You want to be constantly using them as much as you can, because of the different ways that you can use Neva, and I'm going to explain that. So EXO has the unique ability where they can build a bot. There are three types of bots. There is a melee attack bot. This bot, when built, will start to advance down the lane and attack the closest target all the way to the core, and will attack the core as far as I know, or I think that I have seen. Not entirely sure, but I believe so. And so it is essentially a free summon. And it is great because it can help you push the lines. Let's say that you don't really have monsters to be able to summon because your mana is low. Well, now you have a summons. You just made one. You have your summons right there for you. And it only takes, I think it's 6 seconds to build one. I think it's around 6 seconds. I haven't counted. These are all. Whenever I say these numbers, I'm always guessing. I'm thinking back, playing the game in my head, and always trying to use that as a reference. But I think it's like 6 seconds. Might be 8. I don't know. But what happens is they build out that robot, and then the EXO will return to you as a backpack. And so you will have an advancing monster there. Additionally, they have a second and a third type of bot that you can build. The second type of bot, and this is really good for if you want to try and make a factory build, or if you feel that you need some more defensive cover. This also can be used as offensive abilities, but I feel that it's more defensive in nature. I feel that the melee bot, because it does advance down the lane, is a more aggressive stance bot, and so that's her utilizing her utility. She has that aggressive or offensive ability. The what is it called? It is called, and the melee bot is called CLOB-R version 2, Clobber, basically. And then the ranged one is Laser, LAZ-R version 2. And Laser will stay where they are built. They are a stationary unit. They are a ranged attack unit. And they have pretty good range. They have pretty good damage. They cannot be your front line range damage in a battle, but what they can be is a very good support range damage in your battles. So you can litter them around the map, and they will shoot at things, but they're not going to go chase or anything like that. They won't be able to retreat like Deadeye, but you can get 1, 2, maybe 3 of them out on the ground littered across your side of the field, and that way they can help with pushing back or defending, or at least lowering the health of advancing enemy monsters. So they're great for defense. You can use them offensively. Let's say that you did advance the enemy side, you got down to the core, the enemy team is about to spawn back in. You could build a ranged bot, a laser bot, behind their core, like against the wall, but still kind of close, and then just run away. You can move while the bot is being made. If you watch my build a bot deck no commentary video, you'll see that predominantly I was staying still, but that's just because I was looking at what the deck was doing and how it was working and how the match was playing. I was just trying to position them in good spots for defense, and so like I'm pretending that I am the bot and like looking where I'm actually building. Like, can it cover over there? Can it cover over here? Can it cover up there and back here? But later on in the video, you'll see that I start running around because I'm caring less about getting good positioning of my robots and making sure that they have good positioning. So you can move around. It's really good for that. You can start building a bot and retreat, and then you're still having that bot being built while you're running away. So you're safe, you're out of danger, and you're still doing your offensive abilities. So you can build a laser like behind the enemy's core, and they can start attacking the core, or if they are close enough and the goalie doesn't do something weird, they can attack the goalie. Granted, they will get destroyed very quickly by the goalie, but they can still attack the goalie and do some extra damage. So it can be used offensively, but I believe it should be used defensively predominantly. But again, this is just in regards to my own playstyle. So use the abilities how you want to use the abilities. Just the only recommendation I can really give you is to try to use them in a way that will help your playstyle and help you to utilize them better. Look at how you're placing them. Look at where you're placing them. And who you're placing. Like, which one are you placing more often? Are you placing melee ones more often, but you're still losing a lot more? Or are you placing a lot more ranged ones and you're losing a lot more? Are you switching up and trying placing a bunch of ranged ones? Is that working better for you? Is that keeping your core safer for longer? Is throwing out more melee bots actually helping your monster pushes and you're able to get to the enemy's core better. So change it up every once in a while and figure out what works best for you. My recommendations are just for my playstyle, so make sure that you do what works for you. Don't just follow me. It's like the most important recommendation I can ever give in a game. Do what works for you and play in the way that you can play. You can watch improvement videos and how-to guides. The point of those videos is to not do exactly as the person is doing, but see if you can get tips. See if you can find out new things you didn't know. Maybe watching a way they play is like, oh, maybe I can do something like that. Maybe I can add that to my play style. So make sure that you're always working towards your play style and how you play, whether it be offensively or defensively, to better utilize your character's abilities for your play style. On to the next thing. For Sidekick, Exo Armor. What happens is Exo becomes Neva's exoskeleton, providing her with more health and damage, and that is when she's on her. That's when Exo is on her back, is getting more health and damage. Their ultimate is mechanized. What happens is Exo expands into a mech that Neva controls. Can be used once mechanized. Mechanization reaches 50% charge because it is kind of hard to get her ultimate. But there is also an ability card that we'll discuss later on that allows you to charge it up even faster or use it faster with a lower threshold. So we'll get into that later. But it's a great ability. You become a massive robot. You have big swinging arms, and they will swing out in front of you and hit multiple targets at a time. I believe there is a movement ability, but I have never used it, even though I have been the Neva ultimate. It's just most of the times that I've been the Neva ultimate is when Neva has been broken. So I don't have the most experience with that particular part. I haven't really gotten to try that out. I didn't even think of ever really trying that out. But I have been her ultimate, and it's a lot of fun. You turn massive. You can even see it in the Build-A-Bot video, and I know I'm referencing that a lot, but hey, maybe you watch it, maybe you see something in there that can work for you, maybe you find out something that you didn't know, or maybe it can help better explain what I'm talking about Neva and how to use her. So I recommend watching it, but you don't have to. It's nothing special. It's just a no commentary match. It's like 5 minutes long, I think. But hey, if you want to check it out, it might help you, so I recommend it. On to the next one, Ultimate Charge. The way this works is that when you knock out an opponent, it will drop scrap. These are gears. They float, and you'll see them. They're big. You won't miss them. And you have to run into them or like right next to them, and I mean like right next to them, and you will pick them up and it will be added to your ultimate charge bar. So every time you defeat a monster, make sure that you do pick up those gears, because in addition to them dropping the gears, the bigger I think it is either the bigger the monster, you will get more gears, or it is if they are mechanical, you will get more gears. I don't know. I can't remember right now. But by defeating monsters, you will. Um, oh, it's just by defeating opponents. Okay. And, okay, yeah, mechanical summons provide 2 times as much scrap. Okay, so any opponent that you defeat, whether it be an enemy monster or an enemy player, they will drop scrap for you to be able to collect. If the enemy team is foolhardy enough to summon mechanical monsters and you defeat them, you can get twice as much scrap. So anyone that's going against a Neva, if you happen to know ahead of time that you are going against a Neva, you may want to pick a deck that does not have mechanical summons in it, so that you don't help the enemy Neva charge up their ultimate faster. But again, that's up to you. If you find that you're willing to you're willing to deal with that risk, by all means, use those mechanical monsters. All of them are very good, so I recommend using them. Just be wary of that if you have an enemy Neva, or be aware of that if you are a Neva against a person with mechanical summons. Get those summons, eat them up, get those gears of war going. So that's how her abilities and such work. Now we can get to her deck and what I would recommend. Neva can be built many different ways. You can focus on mechanical. You can focus on producing. You can focus on attack. You can focus on defense. She truly is the all-in-one kid wonder, even though she's not a kid. But she has great versatility. This is going to look a lot like my basic deck building video, but we're focusing more on Neva as opposed to describing what you should do when building a deck. Neva is just a great placeholder character because she's an all-rounder. So this time we are going to do a little bit more specialized. Several of the selections will be the same because they are good selections. Just this one will be tailored a little bit more towards Neva. So in that, let's go over the cards again. In the flow, Neva gains an overclocked shield for a duration after Exo returns from being broken. So when you dash, or an enemy broke your armor, or an enemy monster broke your armor, after the timer runs out and they come back, you get an overshield. That's great for defensive purposes and offensive purposes. So let's say, for example, in an offensive setting, you are charging in, you're going against the enemy's goalie, the enemy's fighting with you, you wind up ahead of time dashing towards, but not in directly into the fight, still outside, but you dash towards the fight. If I remember, if what I think is right, in her an Exo getting destroyed when you dash, that will set you up to be able to have Exo come onto you and get an overclock shield. So you can get a bonus even as you're actually getting into the fight. So you'll have that extra protection, and then you can start summoning out your monsters, or just attacking, or what have you, whatever you want to do at that point. Because you'll have an extra health, you'll be able to start attacking the goalie. You'll have extra health to be able to take time to look at your cards and either wait an extra 5 seconds so you can get X number of extra mana and be able to summon out that particular card that you know is just going to work and it's going to help you out immensely. Tons of versatility, both offensively and defensively. Defensively, when you're running away, you can use your dash to get away, and then keep running away, killing that backpack destruction timer, and then boop, as the enemy teammate gets back on you. Let's say it was Ragnar that was following you. You dashed out. You still had some distance between the two of them, but you dashed out, broke your armor, and you're running away. Let's say that Ragnar follows you. She dashes, but she still can't quite catch up to you because there was still that initial distance between you two, both doing your initial dashes. So let's say that she's like, okay, I need to close the gap again. So she jumps up in the air. She starts doing the flaming kick. If the timer runs out on the broken backpack, let's say it does. Let's say it took them a moment to dash and it was just enough time for the backpack to get back. Then when the backpack comes back and she's about to hit you with her flame attack, you were very defenseless all the way to, I have an extra shield. You can immediately turn around and either attack them or throw out a monster, or even you can just have that extra shield and continue running and wait for your dash to cool down to end and be able to dash out again. You could potentially even, right when you get your Exo back and she's attacking, or even right before, you could throw down a buffer monster at your feet, make them summon at your feet. So either potentially they only get hit by the attack, or they're right there even though you got attacked and you can continue running, and now the enemy player has to deal with those monsters because they're right there. They're going to focus that player. I mean, the player can disregard that and continue on attacking you, but it's still something they have to consider. They have to use some kind of mental energy, whether it's the most small amount ever in the world. They're still going to have to use mental energy and register that there are monsters there and what to do with those monsters and how they're playing. So you can use that as a buffer, and then you can get out even more. So it's really great for offense and defensive abilities. We're going to put that in there for now. I might change it later. This one, what it does is when you do make your melee bots that advance down the lanes, this will give them increased health and increased damage. So they'll be able to take more hits and hit harder. That's going to help you with your lane pushes or even on defense. Both are really good. You can build them right next to either your core or the enemy's core. You can build them anywhere on the map and they'll start advancing and they'll help push the line. So let's say you did summon out some monsters on the bottom lane, and they're coming around to the other side up to the enemy team's core. You summon out Buckshot as a ranged unit that you use the jet stream to throw the card into the jet stream, and it bounces off of it and it goes all the way to the other side of the field and summons right with the group of your other monsters. Then you can run and jump into the jet stream, get that height boost, and fly over to the other side of the map down below, still down at the bottom of the map. The ramp. You can just start building your clobber there, and then once it's done after building after 6 seconds, he'll start advancing with your group. So you've got a whole nother one going in with you. And this will mean that they have increased health and increased damage, so they could potentially be a pseudo front line of the mob monster for you, helping to take down those melee range characters that are trying to get your ranged characters. Defensively, you can build them right next to your core, and then they'll start attacking it, and you'll still be able to attack while it's being built. So you don't have to stand there and wait for it to be built. You can be out attacking, defending your core while that's building on the sideline. Once it's done building on the sideline, it's gonna come back to you, and I believe you will get an overclocked shield from that. So it helps you out even more, and then they're right there. They have the extra health and damage. They'll be able to effectively help you defend your core, and then once the defense of your core is done, they'll just continue on the way to the enemy core. So it's a great card for if you want that advancing close range fighting kind of bot. It's not the the one that I personally choose, but I'm more of a support defensive play style, so that's not my advantage. But if you are an offensive player and you play offensively, this could be really effective and really useful in helping you to advance and be able to take down the enemy team's core. The next one is lasers. What this does, this increases the health, but instead of increasing the damage, it increases the range. So with this, you can use this as a backline, how to put this? You could use this by summoning it behind the enemy team's core or even to the side a decent distance away from the core on the side. Let's say you have it building directly on the opposite side of the core from where the players are spawning in, but still a distance away, like more towards lane 2 and the wall. They won't know it's there for at least a moment or two, and it'll start attacking the core. And with that increased ranges, you'll be able to build it farther away. That'll give you more room to be able to retreat or more range to be able to defend you while you're staying around that general area, being able to summon out monsters and potentially being able to build more bots. You could build a laser and then wait the cooldown and then build a melee bot. You could start trying to build a quote-unquote factory build on the enemy team's side, just using your special ability. And I did forget to tell you about the third bot. I apologize for that. I just realized that. The third bot is a healing overshield bot, or overclocking bot. What it does is when you summon it, it will follow your character, and it will provide healing and will provide overclock shielding. So let's actually go back. We'll stay on the screen. But this is what it looks like, and it has two little hands that it shoots out the overclock or the healing. And I highly, 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 again, highly recommend that this is the first thing you build every single time. This bot will follow you to the ends of the earth, constantly supporting you. It will be your favorite thing in the entire world. It will save you. It will keep you going. And I'm about to give you some examples. So, offensively, when you are attacking and you are getting hit because you are in the middle of the monster fight, you are destroying monsters, you are EMPing them, silencing them, and letting the silence wear off. You're doing all that stuff. You are being the Omega aggressor. With Booster, they will heal you and they will give you overclock shield while you are fighting. They will keep you alive longer. Honestly, they're, in my opinion, better than any monster right now. But they will follow you around. They will keep you alive, and they will. I don't even know how to describe how good it is. You'll have to try them out. I just recommend that you do it at the very beginning, because that can help you to snowball win a game, because you will constantly be healing even while you're taking damage. It is great. I just highly recommend it. It's just really good. Yeah. So I highly recommend that you get it. As far as this card, I recommend getting it for the ranged abilities, so we're going to put it there for now. We will get more into this in a little bit, but we'll get there. Early access. I really recommend this card. This is generally kind of what I get. No, actually, I usually do this one. This one, what it does is for your ultimate charge, instead of having to wait till at least 50%, instead of 100%, because it does take her longer to get her charge, this will allow you to be able to access it at 25%. I think it makes it so that her ultimate is vastly more viable. Her ultimate is very good without any buffs as both an offensive and defensive ability, doing really good damage, keeping you alive, really just becoming the center of attention on the battlefield and controlling the battlefield. It's really good. This will help you to be able to activate it more often by causing the requirement to only be 25% instead of 50%. And I mean, I recommend it. It's really good. If that's not your thing and you don't really like the ultimate that much, or you just don't feel like you can use it that well, you do not have to use this card. I just personally recommend it because I like the ability to access my ultimate quicker, and I feel like it helps me to win the matches quicker. The next card is Tethered. The range of your EMP becomes larger, so you're able to silence more. You're able to convert more to your cause. You can convert more to your cause. So it just creates a larger area for you to be able to quickly change the tide of the battle from being on the defensive to the offensive. So it is a good card. That's definitely one that you can use, especially if you can effectively use their special and use it often. You are a power user of it. This could really improve your game. Don't need it. This one is really good if you are losing your backpack a lot. So let's say you are getting your backpack's getting destroyed a lot, you're getting focused a lot, you're just taking hits, and your backpack is constantly being destroyed. You're not able to get off any bot. You're not able to build up any bots. It's just you by yourself. This will help you. What this does is she gains the ability to do critical damage when the backpack is destroyed. So when you're getting chased down and someone just broke your backpack and you want to do some damage to try and get them off of you, you can now have the potential to do critical damage on them. Let's see here. The next one, this one I really do recommend, and it definitely ties into the flow, is getbackhere.exe. Put this up here. Getbackhere.exe, the executable, means that they will come back once they are broken, and maybe also decrease the duration of building, but I don't believe so. Either way, I do know that when EXO gets broken and you are not wearing them, this will help you to get them back sooner, and so you will have shielding for longer. You'll be able to be able to get it back quicker. You'll be beefy longer. You'll be able to get beefy again sooner. So I definitely recommend it. It's great for offensive and defensive abilities. If you're running away, that shortens the time before the next time you get the backpack, and that can mean the difference between making it out and not. Offensively too, you could potentially do, let's say, because you're not really big into the ultimate, let's say you do in the flow, get back here, and didn't need it. What that can do for you is you can charge in there, and if I'm right about the backpack being destroyed when you dash, you could dash in there, start doing critical damage on people. Then, because the timer is lower on Exo, it's going to return back to you faster, where you get that extra health and damage. And then, because they came back, now you got an overclock shield. So you're even beefier. You can take more hits. You're going to stay in there longer. So, it's a good card. I recommend it, especially if you're not big on the ultimate and you want to stay more nimble. It's a great card to have. The next one is Take 'em Down. When Exo transforms for the ultimate, they do release an EMP pulse that does convert and silence, just like her special, just on a bigger scale because they are bigger. But what this card does is for when you're using it during the ultimate transformation period, it's an automatic thing that gets used, but it doesn't count towards your cooldown. At least when you get out of it, I believe. I don't see why it would because it's a forced one. But it means that the EMP bubble expands and increases and causes the effects to last longer. So the enemy mechanized units, they're going to be on your team longer. The non-mechanized units, they're going to be silenced for longer. The enemy players are going to be silenced for longer. They're not going to be able to move around as well. They're not going to be able to use defensive abilities. It's really good. The last one is Booster, and what this one does is it increases their health and the overclocking ability. So they will be health. They will have more health. They'll be able to stay on you longer. That means that even during those heavy bouts where you are in the middle of 6 to 7 to 12 different summons, ranging from little itty bitty guys to the big bad boys, they're going to be able to last in there longer. They're going to be able to heal you for longer by lasting for longer. That means you're going to stay alive longer because your health's not going to go down as fast because you're constantly getting healed. And if you're at full health because they keep on missing for whatever reason, then you're getting the overclock shield. So you're doubling up. So they are a great pick, especially if you're offensive. If you are not concerned about the overclock shield because you know you got Booster, what you can do is, and Booster does affect you when you do not have the backpack on because they are a separate unit. You can dive in there with him attached to you, lose your backpack, and start attacking with critical damage effects. I don't believe it is every attack. I believe it's every so often attacks. I don't know the specifics. Doesn't really matter. You're going to have it at some point. But you're going to have that critical damage attack, and with the reduced cooldown, then you're going to come back and get even beefier. And then you're still going to have constant healing and constant overclocking. If anything, you could even do... You could say, I don't need to get it back faster, just when I do get it back, because I'm not really concerned about dying. I'm constantly getting healed. When I do get it back, I'm going to get an overshield. So you're getting healing, then you're getting an overshield. So his effects are going to double up because he does healing, and he does increased overclock shielding. So when you get your overclock shield, because the backpack came back, that thing's getting boosted. So Booster is a great pick, and it's great for going on offensive, and it's great for defensive. When you're retreating, they are still on you. They're still providing their effects on you. In general, even without this card boosting their health, they have really good health. They have really good base abilities. That's why I don't necessarily need that card. This is more my build because what this does is I can place down my range bots around my goal or even on the enemy's team, and they're just taking free hits. I'm going to place them in places where they are not the main focus of the battle. They're not in the main path of the lanes. They're a little bit off to the side, and they're just going to be able to relax, hit anything they need, and then just relax again. Having that increased range means that they're going to attack people that are farther away, which means they're not going to be able to get as close to them before they start getting hurt. And depending on the monster card level, the enemy monsters might not be able to even get to Laser. He might be able to just defeat them off, like the Cacticus. He'll be able to like pick them off as they're running up on him because he has that increased range. And even if they do happen to get on him, he's got the extra health to help him out. That'll give me more time to get back to him and help fend him off if I can. It'll be great. And like, yeah, so these are the abilities that I recommend in regards to how I play Neva. I want the decreased duration of the backpack because I want it back as quick as I can. I want that extra damage. I want that extra health on me. I want that extra protection so that I can survive longer. And when it does come back, I want some overshield. I want that free shield. Give it to me. Like, I want it. Give it to me now. It's my overclock shield. I want it, and I want it now. So yeah, that's what I play with. I recommend it. But again, all of these are really viable cards. Pick what works for you. What works for me might not work for you. What works for you probably is not going to work for me. I don't know. We'll find out if I ever find out what your decks are. A year from now when people are posting their deck videos, I'll be able to see what they're doing, see if I can copy their stuff, see if it works for me. If it doesn't, cool. If it does, awesome. Dude, I got more stuff to add. I got more plans, more strategies. Let's go. So yeah, let's work on the summons now. For summons, every summon is a good summon because Neva is the all-round package. She is the offense. She is the defense. She is the middle. She has it all. She can do it all. So use it all. So we're going to go into this. Sometimes I like to use Lava Drop because it does have that AoE area effect, and it can cause area of denial or area damage. So for right now, at least, we're going to put it. I might switch it back later. Or switch it out later. I don't know. We'll see. I also do like to do Tadpole because they have that multiplying effect for each time that you summon them. That means that you're going to get 1, then the next time you're going to get 2, and the next time you're going to get 3, and the next time you're going to get 4, and the next time you're going to get 5, and the next time you're going to get 6. So it's going to continually increase and continually, in a sense, increase its strength and viability in pushing back or defending. They're great. They move pretty quickly. Individually, they are kind of weak, but together they can last longer and they have more attacks, so they are stronger. So I always recommend them. They're really good. Next, I recommend Lump. For those times when you do lose your backpack, your EXO, your best friend in the entire world, Lump will be there to help you out. They'll do healing in a little bit of an area around where they are summoned. So when you do summon them, make sure that you are aiming them. If you are going to summon your try to heal your teammate using Lump, you want to aim so that he lands near or on where the player will be at the time that Lump is summoned. So I've seen a lot of people who have thrown, and I've seen myself do this, where they throw out Lump and they are not aiming where the teammate will be, but instead are aiming at where the teammate currently is. And by the time Lump comes out summoned to do his healing, they're already out of the area. So when Lump is summoned, when he appears, he does healing around him, and it's not a huge distance, so you want the summon to be near what you are summoning. Or else they will not get that effect at all, and and you lose out on that little bit of an advantage from their summons. It's great for offensive and defensive pushes. You can summon it at your feet, and be able to heal yourself. Just make sure that you are still in the area of healing effect. You can use it while running away by throwing it a, ever so slightly in front of you so that you stay in the area when you are getting healed. Let's say that you just were on an offensive, you almost got to the enemy team's core to be able to damage it, but they were able to turn it around, defeat all the monsters, and push you back. You're retreating. You just lost your EXO after having just got them back. The enemy players had a Ragna and they burnt through your overclock shield and your backpack. You're back down to Neva without a backpack. You can throw Lump out a little bit ahead of you for any damage that you might have. Let's say you're on fire, and that's slow burn, so that's going to damage you over time. This will heal some of that slow burn damage. So you'll be able to heal yourself while running away. You'll be able to heal yourself while running into the fray. Even if you have your backpack on and you're still missing some health and you want to just top off before you really go all in on a fight, you can throw them at your feet and top off, or you can save them for later when you're retreating or when you've knocked out all the monsters and many players and you're kind of you and your team are just going towards the goalie. It's a perfect time to use Lump. Heal yourself up. Heal up your teammate. This also works on your monster summons, so heal up your summons. Don't just let them sit at half health or less than half health. Heal them up. Why waste more mana getting monsters when you can just keep your monsters and then just add more to them with your mana? So it's really good. It's very versatile. I highly recommend it with Neva. Another recommendation I would say is Buckshot. Buckshot is a advancing ranged monster summon. Something that is really good about them is that they do a critical hit when they damage opponents and objectives that are standing still. So if there is a group of monsters fighting in the center of the top lane and they're not really moving because they're all melee and they're all right next to each other, Buckshot just comes along, pulls out his arrow, pulls it back long, and critical damage. So the enemy monsters that are standing still, they're gonna get knocked down faster. They're gonna have more of their health taken away. Buckshot will be able to like one-shot small monsters in a sense. So it's really good. They're really good against enemy players as well. Even if they're moving and Buckshot doesn't have the critical damage, they're still going to do that ranged damage, and it's going to be really good, and you're going to enjoy it. And sometimes the enemy players are just going to get killed out of nowhere, and you'll be like, "Thank you, Buckshot," and Buckshot's going to look at you and give you a little wink, and then he's just going to start walking back down the lane, advancing and helping out to win the game. So I recommend him. He's great offensively. He's great defensively. If you're going to use him defensively, you're going to want to spawn him to this behind and to the side of your core, either the left side or the right side. Doesn't really matter. Just is what's more effective and useful for you during that point in time during that match. And what that will do is he will focus anything that is closest to him, which if you are positioning the summon in a good spot, could mean anything closest to the core, or the closest thing advancing to the core from the second bottom lane, or from the primary lane. It's great for offense because he does have good range, so he will be able to protect a decent amount of distance, and then once the area is clear of any enemies that he's able to attack, he'll continue on and switch over to a more offensive mode and start charging down the lanes to attack. So he's a great one to have. He's going to help you out a lot. Another one I recommend is Deadeye. Deadeye is going to be a great defensive player, and the reason I'm picking Deadeye is because we are going to be going into Neva's factory build and how you're able to build them. So I might be switching out characters later. I kind of just decided I was going to do it. So this is going to be that factory build. Deadeye is going to be there to protect your core, to hold off any advances on the lanes. If an enemy happens to get close enough to attack Deadeye, he will retreat once being attacked so that he does not continue to take damage. Once he is far enough away and is not taking damage, he will begin to attack again. And he does not advance down the lanes. He is a semi-stationary, meaning that primarily they will stay stationary in the point that you summoned them. They will stay still and stay in that spot unless they are attacked. He is great for defending your core, defending your lanes. They have good range on them. They have good damage. They have been known to knock out enemy players during matches. They are known for knocking out larger monsters, though it does take more than just one shot to do so. They are a very versatile card for offensive and defensive abilities. Offensively, you can summon them anywhere on the map and they will defend that area from any advancing monsters. You can even summon it off to the side of the enemy's core and they will attack the core. And as a bonus when doing that, if somebody tries to attack them and hits them, they will begin to run away and either be a distraction because they will continue to chase Deadeye because he is continuing to run away, or they will give up and move on to something else, at which point, because Deadeye is not taking damage, he will begin attacking again. So it is great offensively, but those same rules apply defensively. You can summon them in front of your goalie or your core, and they will defend and shoot anything that comes near, and if they happen to get hit, they will retreat away from the damage, and once they are not getting damaged anymore and they are out of danger, they will begin attacking again. Granted, they will not move from the new position that they are in from retreating, but they will begin attacking again from that new position. So it's really great for offensive and defensive plays. I highly recommend them. Getting more into the factory build, you want to get Spored. Spored is a monster that will advance down lanes, but while they are advancing down the lanes, they will actually summon additional units. They summon 3 little guys at a time, and they will run down the lane. I like to call them Spodes. I like to take out the R because they don't reproduce, but Spored does, and he will spawn them periodically over time. A recommendation when using them is to spawn them on the second lower lane. Spawn them back away from the top of the ramp on your side of the field. It will give them extra distance to be able to spawn extra little spode guys. Extra bonus points and better utilization is try if the wild card and wildcard shield are down below on the second lane. This will cause Spore and his little spodes to stop and attack the wildcard. This is true of all monsters. All monsters will attack the wildcard shield, and they will stop advancing and attack it. So it's really good for Spore because he will stop advancing, but their spawn timer will continue. So even though they are not moving, they are still able to spawn more units. This can mean that instead of while they're advancing from one side of the map to the other, that they have 3 or 4 spawnings of the little spodes. They now have 5 or 6, maybe 7. Maybe if somehow, some way, you're able to pull it off, maybe 8 waves. Each wave consists of 3. Usually you'll get 2 or 3 waves as long as nothing's advancing, so that is 6 to 9 of them. If you got the wild card shield down there, you can get up to 4, 5, maybe 6. So that's 12, 15, or 18 of them. And let me tell you, little menaces coming out of the woodwork, like even just the 12 at 4 sets of spawned, that will make people notice. Your enemy team will have to deal with that, because if they don't, that is, including Spore, 13 monsters attacking. 13 different attacks happening. The 12 little spodes and your big daddy Spore all attacking. Even if they're only doing 1 damage, that now becomes 13 damage over and over and over and over. They will start to whittle down either your health, your monster's health, or your core's health. So they are great. You don't have to focus on them. They are kind of a set it and forget it monster. Just throw them to the side, let them walk down below, fill up the lane with their ooey gooey sporeness, and just forget about it. You can focus on the top lane. They're going to cover that bottom lane. Now, if the enemy team does throw monsters to go down their second lane, you will want to send other monsters down with them, because they are not strong or extremely high in health. They don't have that great of health. It's just the numerical advantage helps when pushing. But I would still suggest maybe putting down a larger monster card with them. That way that you can actually like defend your sport as he's doing all these spawnings and creating more units for you for free that you didn't have to use mana on. So I definitely recommend Sport going into the factory build. Also, I highly recommend Sembler. Sembler is a stationary unit as opposed to Sport, who is a moving unit. Sembler will stay wherever you spawn, or wherever you spawn them, wherever you throw out the card, and they will stay in that position. Their overall max health will decrease over time, so their health bar will become weaker as time goes on. But in exchange for that, for being able to stay stationary and losing health, they actually spawn attacking units just like Sport. Sembler will spawn them 1 at a time. They are mechanical and they are ranged, so you can have mechanical ranged units spawning to periodically push down the lane and help you advance over to the enemy team's core. They're really good. Just watch out. They are susceptible to being defeated quickly. I do not recommend spawning them in the middle of the map. If you are going to spawn them in places that generally don't have big fights happen at. What I mean by that is have them spawned like behind your goalie or your core. If you want to spawn them below the top lane in that actual area by the wild card, a little recommendation is to spawn it in that little half circle cutout right next to the ramps. You can either spawn it on your side or on the enemy's side, and they will just start sending out units. A little tricky thing you can do if you do want to spawn in that location is spawn it on the enemy team's side in that little crevice. They're not going to see it when they're battling on the top lane running around, because their focus is going to be able to see your ramp. It's not going to be able to see down below the ground or on the lower level, because they're right at where the top lane meets their side of the map, their goal side. So they're not going to be able to see it down there, and it'll just start plugging away units. Bloop, bloop, boop, boop. Another benefit of Sembler is that they will run away if they are attacked. So just like Deadeye, they will try to remove themselves from being damaged. They will then start to spawn units again wherever they stop, because they're able to attack again. So he has survivability in that he will run away and find a place where he is no longer getting hurt, and then start spawning units again. So it helps with their survivability. You can spawn them on the lower floor on the enemy team side of the map for a more offensive position and utilization of the unit, or you can spawn it around your core or behind your core or right in front of your core location so that they are in a more defensive position to deal with multiple different threats, whether it be from the top lane or the bottom lane or people that are jumping into your side of the map. So there are plenty of ways to use them. Just be forewarned that they do not have unlimited health. They do not even have that great of health, and they will lose health. So don't worry about that. One thing I will recommend in helping them survive, kind of, and to help yourself extra survive during these encounters is Aloe. Aloe is a healing monster, much like Lump. You can actually just take out Lump and put Aloe in their place if you so are inclined, freeing up your spots for more cards. Aloe will advance down the lanes, but she is a healer. She will heal you. She will heal your teammates. She will heal your monsters. When everyone is at 100%, she will advance down the lane. If they are not at 100%, she won't advance the lane. She will run to the monster that is not at full health and begin to heal them at range. So they are great in factory builds. They are great for attacking builds. They are great for defensive builds because they heal at range. They do not have to be right next to you. They are not a one-time effect heal. They are a continuous heal. They are great because they will run between your Deadeye and your Assembler when their health is getting lower, below their wear and tear health missing. So let's say they're at 10% health of whatever their current health bar is that is slowly shrinking over time due to wear and tear. She will be able to run over to them and put it back to the maximum available health as it is dwindling down. It won't mean that their health will stop dwindling down. It just will heal them up into that point that is dwindling down. So they're great for keeping your monsters alive over time. Offensively, you can have them run with your monsters. You can have them run with a big bad daddy. You can have them run with you advancing down the lanes, and they will stay out of danger at a range and heal you. Defensively, you can spawn them by your core even if you don't have a factory build. Even if you're a different character, you can spawn them by your core and they will begin to heal you or any injured monsters around them while you folks are attacking to defend your core or your goalie or what have you. They are great for healing. I personally like Lump more because I like to be able to aim where I'm healing and control where I'm healing. But Aloe is great in that she does have long range, not incredibly long range, but she has decently good range. She has continuous healing. It is not a one-time effect. It is an all-the-time effect. And she is able to advance down lanes with your units to keep them healthy even if they got hurt during a bout that they won. After that bout is won, she is still healing them so they can get back to full health to go on to the next bout or the goalie or the core or the player. So great pick. I would also say Shell Shock. The reason being is that Shell Shock does damage, and Shell Shock does range damage, and Shell Shock has good defenses. So you can use them to advance down a lane with your other summoned units. even him. Or you can use them defensively, summoning them close to your core when your core is being attacked, and they will begin to attack in a large range with their missiles. So they are a great defensive and offensive monster to use. They have a lot of health. They have decreased damage, so damage mitigation when they are in their reload process, and when they are in their firing process, they do have large range and they do have good damage, so they can attack multiple monsters at the same time at range to help defend or to help push your lanes. I know I said that a little bit weird, but oh well. Another good pick is Cacta King. Cacta King is good in that he does spawn units himself. They have decently good health, but the real benefit is being able to summon more Cacticue. Every time they attack by throwing a Cacticue out, and essentially it is a free Cacticue summon. So you are hoping to spawn more units to advance down your lane, and they can be used defensively because they do have some higher health. They will be able to resist getting hit while they are in the process of summoning more monsters that can attack. So they are really good for keeping yourself safe by adding monsters where they are needed in either a defensive or offensive position. Either you summon them right next to your core so that once somebody comes in range, he can throw a monster at them. Or on the offensive, you can throw them at the enemy core and have little Cacticue that the players are going to have to deal with at some point in time from damaging the core, whether it be before or after having to deal with you damaging their core, and having to deal before or after Cacta King, who is damaging the core by throwing the Cacticue at the core. It's not a lot of damage. It's not supposed to be. The predominant thing is getting out those Cacticue so that you increase your forces over time during those engagements, during those active engagements. I kind of wish that Cacta King did throw them out as he was walking along without a target, but I am completely fine with it only being when there is a target to attack, because Cacta King's attack is literally just taking a Cacticue, lobbing it at somebody, smacking him in the face, and being like, "What? What, you don't like my Cacticue? How dare you?" So he's really good. I really recommend him. I would also recommend Volcab instead of Lava Drop, because Volcab spawns Lava Drops. That way you're still going to have that AoE area denial attack or defensive measure, but you're having it multiple times from a single summon. I will say that you do need to be careful because they are a 6 in the amount of mana that they need for summoning, but you will continue to get more and more lava drops. You can have several lava drops all going out, advancing down a lane at a time, and like really create an area of denial. They can all be set off one after the other. Let's say, for example, an enemy player is advancing down the top lane, but you threw your Volcab all the way back at your core, and they've been spewing out lava drops. By the time they're at the middle part, they've got like 3 or 4 of their lava drops out. Maybe they just spawned out the 4th one. But as your enemy player is advancing down that center lane, anytime they get in range of that lava drop, those individual lava drops individually will then go to attack that player or monster in range, creating a lava field where by being in that area, they're continuously taking damage. And let's say it is an enemy player advancing, and they just ignore the fact that there's a lava drop that just dropped down and created an area, and they run through it. Guess what? They gotta deal with the second one now, and because the second one now activated, and that's a new area with fire, so both areas are going, and the enemy player is getting burnt this whole time. Let's say they ignore and try to charge through a third time. You have that third lava drop now activating, creating a third area of denial. If you've got them lined up and positioned well, just naturally, because the game just naturally did that, you're essentially, with those three, completely blocking off half of that top middle lane with their range. You can block essentially that entire half off. They're not gonna get through. Nothing's gonna get through. They're all gonna go on fire. They're all gonna know the pain. You can even summon vocab on the lower lane, and that has the potential to even add more lava drops. But bonus points, there should not be a wild card underneath if you are summoning vocab on the second lane. If there is a wild card for Spore, bonus points. If there is a wild card for vocab, minus points, because the lava drops are one attack. They can only attack once, and they will all attack and they will all land in the same area. Granted, yes, they will attack the wildcard shield. They will not stay attacking the wildcard shield. They only, and their lava drop movable form, have only one attack. So by not having that wildcard shield down there, they will be able to pass through without using their lava attack. So you can get 4, 5, 6 lava drops running through, and then when they get to the core or any approaching monsters, then they'll be able to use their ability and create the area of denial field. So it's better to not have that wild card underneath when using vocab on the bottom lane. At that point, it is better to use them up top. You will get less summons, but they will not be wasted on the wild card. So those are my recommendations with that. You can also throw them behind your goalie for extra distance, for extra time for summonings, or if you need to defend and create a lava field denial area around your core. Multiple ways that you can use them. So do what works for you. Use them in ways that works for you. As far as a big monster, honestly, just Infernus. It really doesn't matter which one you use per se. It is all about your playstyle. Because Neva is the all-around golden child that can do both offensive and defensive abilities effectively, she has her pick of the litter when it comes to monsters. She can effectively use 90% of all of the monsters in synergy for how she can be used. Some characters are limited, like Ragna, for example. Ragna, to get the best damage, the best synergy with Ragna, you want those fire elemental type monsters so that their fire abilities complement the character's fire abilities. With Neva, because she can go on the offensive with her melee bots, the defensive with her ranged bots, and as a support with her healing bot, she can play all the types, so she can use all the types. I personally like Infernus. I like the fire AoE and the flame attack that comes out of his mouth because it is ranged and it can go to multiple enemies. You don't necessarily need to do that. If you wanted, you could even do Slow Claw. Slow Claw swipes at opponents, and when they do, they knock back. It's kind of like Bulgar's Bazooka, but in monster form, and you get to use it a lot more often. This is actually really good for defensive purposes. When your core is being attacked, you can summon them at your core. They will take a swipe and knock back everything around them, so that can create a buffer zone for more actions to be done, or other things. It really depends on you. I personally like Infernus, but any of these are great picks. You have your healing. You have monsters that are multiplying, so you get more of them as you go along. You have high health AoE damage. You have multiple units summoning out additional units, meaning you don't have to waste mana on those units to get those additional units. You can save your mana for different monsters. You have ranged characters that can be used to defend your spawning units, whether it be one that doesn't really move, you can defend them. If it's ones that do move, you can still defend them with all the monsters. It's the monsters will work together and keeping each other safe, whether it is by producing extra units or shooting at range to keep monsters away, or even close range attacks. And he's technically close range too. So your cards will work together. You'll also be able to have your melee Neva bot to help defend your units. You'll also have your ranged Neva bot to help your units. You'll have your Neva healing bot to support you while you are fighting with your monsters and the units that they spawn to advance down the lane. So these monsters are going to help you out. Just be wary that these monsters are weaker in health, minus Cactus King. He actually has decent health. But the rest of them, I don't believe that bar. He can be weak, and he can't attack directly, only through spawns. So that is where these two are weak. They can't attack directly. He can attack directly. He can't attack directly. His direct attack is very weak, but they spawn in units to help with that. But you're going to have all of these units working together, pushing down your lanes. Him constantly producing units in the backline to help your advances. Him walking along with your advances, producing units. Him producing more units during the actual fighting. Him protecting your core and keeping himself safe. Her healing your units, whether they are staying in the backline producing more units to advance, or they're going along with your pushing party. They're going to be there to heal. You're going to have these guys who will increase in the number of spawned when you spawn them. So it's going to start out weak, but the more times you spawn them, it's going to get stronger. All of a sudden, you got 6 of these suckers advancing down ahead of your buckshot and your shell shock, and they're keeping the enemy melee team away so that these guys can shoot them. You can have your Infernus clearing out everything ahead. You can have Infernus leading the charge with Buckshot off to the side on the backline defense with Shell Shock. You can have Aloe with your Infernus, healing Infernus, keeping him alive, letting him do that more damage. So really good synergies between these cards, keeping each other alive and advancing with each other and helping them by either creating units to block anything coming in or attacking things from range to block them from coming in. As far as the wild cards go, I recommend Astral Rejuvenation. It'll allow you to summon more monsters, and that kind of means even more monsters because you're producing monsters in your back lines, your sidelines, and your front lines. So you're getting even more out onto the field. I also recommend, and I mean that's offensive and defensively. You have more to summon defensively, to summon around you. You have more to summon away from you. So I really recommend that. As far as cooldown reduction, yes, definitely. I highly recommend it. That means that there's a lower cooldown from between when you're able to build more bots, producing more units. That means a lower cooldown for when you silence enemy monsters or switch enemy monsters to your team for a time. That means that that's going to happen more often. That means that the enemy team's advances are going to get disrupted more. That means you can take over units and push harder when you're advancing or stopping the defensive, stopping the offensive using by silencing them all and giving your monsters the chance to use their abilities against monsters that can't use their abilities. So I definitely recommend it. I know it seems a little fast I'm going through these, but I've gone through these guys several times. But I still want to list out why you should pick them. And then we are still going to go into how they work, even though I'm kind of explaining them now, or how they work with your other abilities, even though we are kind of doing it now. As far as Overshield, that's kind of up to you. Do you want to just use Overshield from your abilities, or do you want to actually just have an extra Overshield on top of your extra Overshield, or maybe you didn't want the Overshield from your abilities and this will give you a way to get that Overshield. Maybe you don't feel like you need Overshield either way. Maybe you just need a little bit more health because you're going no backpack Neva for those critical damage hits, and you need that extra health while you're advancing to do those critical damage hits. That might be the better pick for you. It's not really my playstyle, but that might be your playstyle. If you have an offensive playstyle, you can sacrifice that backpack because you know you're going to get the critical damage, and that extra health is going to help keep you alive for while you're doing that critical health damage. Spike Shield, also a good pick because that's going to protect your champion. Whether or not they actually have their backpack on, it doesn't matter for Neva because she'll have the thorns. So anytime somebody's attacking her, they're getting attacked because they're getting damaged. In addition to your goalie getting the thorns. So anytime they're attacking your goalie, they're getting attacked back with damage. So Neva really is the all-around character because she can effectively use all of these abilities. Maybe you want that little bit of extra beef on your armor. Maybe you just need a little bit of beef in your body. Maybe you want to go technology and have that overshield. You have tons of options with Neva. None of them are wrong answers. Try them out, see what works for you, what works for your playstyle. Are you that more aggressive one, so you need that extra health when you're doing damage? Are you that more defensive one and you're doing like a factory deck build? Do you need that overshield to keep you safe? Or you don't really need that overshield, but you still want to keep yourself and your core safe while you're doing a factory build or a defensive build or offensive build so that something's protecting your goalie while you're off dealing with the enemy team's core, then you can do Spike Shield. She has a lot of versatility and a lot of different ways that you can use her. What I've been describing is just one of multiple ways that you can use her. I've been more gearing towards defensive production, but she has the ability to go very offensively. She has the ability to go very defensively, or she can just be down the middle. She is free to choose because she has so much utility. For this deck, I'm going to just say health. Why not? So we're gonna talk about this now. So if I had the overshield, what that means is that I get overshields when I'm out of combat. So if the timer for backpack is a little bit longer than out of combat time, which I don't believe it might be. I don't know. Then you're getting an overshield before your backpack comes to give you an overshield. So let's say you do get, you had to dash and get rid of, you got hurt, you're like half health, you dashed out, removed your backpack so that you can survive. It's already been like 6 seconds since you got damaged, so you only got like 4 seconds left on your health regeneration. Those 4 seconds pass, and then you get an overshield, right? Yeah, and then you get your overshield for being out of combat, even though you're at low health. Then, let's say the enemy team catches up and attacks you, and they kill off your overshield. I mean, you're not technically in combat, but you might be. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because 4 seconds had passed. It's only another 10 seconds at most, I would think, till you get your backpack back. I don't know what the times are. Doesn't clearly say for when it gets destroyed. I know for if you destroy it, it's like 15 seconds. So let's say those 4 seconds pass, you still have 11 seconds. Can you run away for 11 seconds? Probably, yeah. I think you can. Let's say it was even longer than that because we're still taking the fact the dash. So let's say it's been 10 seconds, 6 seconds from the dash, 4 seconds from uh, um, no. Like it's been 6 seconds since you got hit. It's been 4 seconds since you dashed. In 4 seconds, another 4 seconds, you're gonna get an overshield and start regenerating health, which will protect you for the additional 6 seconds that you need, or 7 seconds that you need to get your XO back, which, let's say if the enemy team does hit you during those 7 seconds, I think you're going to live during those 7 seconds, and XO is going to come back and you got Overshield all over again. And not only do you have XO back, you got extra health back, you got extra damage back, you could turn around and start punishing people that were following a little too closely, getting a little too hungry for that kill. So it's really good for that. The cooldown reduction is just good in that you're able to use your EMP a lot faster, taking over enemy champions, silencing them. And of course, mana regeneration does make you summon more monsters, and you can actually use that more. Oh, excuse me. That extra mana to do the extra summons. But again, this is just my kind of playstyle. These are my thoughts. Hopefully, something works for you. Something give you a little bit of inclination of what you want to do with Neva as using her. Maybe you can use something to help your playstyle of building them. That's the hope. That's the dream. If not, I still appreciate you watching the video. I just kind of hope it actually helps you because that's why I want to make the videos. But yeah, don't be afraid to change things up. Use abilities that I didn't pick. Use abilities I said I wouldn't normally use because your style of playing is not going to be the same style as my playing. What works for me isn't going to work for you necessarily, and what works for you isn't going to work for me necessarily. So experiment, try out all the different cards. You don't have to make the factory build. You can make a heavy damage advancing build. You could make a heavily defensive defending build. Neva has the opportunity and the ability to play a vast majority of the different styles of gameplay that will be available in this game. She'll be able to utilize a lot of the strategies that are going to be coming in the next whatever years that this game is going to be out and people are playing it. So yeah, don't be afraid to experiment. Try out different things. Don't stick to just one deck. Have multiple decks so that you can switch it up. You're going to run into players that you know. You're going to recognize names. People are going to recognize your names. I already know that people are going to recognize my name in this game, and they're going to look at what character I'm playing, and they're probably going to be like, oh, he's using this build. So you want to have multiple different kinds of builds so that people can't easily predict what kind of build you have and be able to use a build that counters that. Though it is a lot harder to do that against Neva than the other characters because the other characters' attributes and abilities are more, we'll say, class type specific, i.e. defense, offense, or hopefully in the future support, like a true support, and like true ranged and all that kind of stuff. So Neva has the best of it all. Definitely experiment with the deck. Use different cards. Use cards I don't recommend. Heck, switch out Aloe for Lump. That's a great deck. That means you have area healing right on you. You can always focus. Let's say you're a little bit more battle centric. Put in Ribbit. You can take out the factory summons.
You don't need those. You don't have to use those. You can have your own style. Maybe you want to go more offensive and like really beat down people and abuse the overshield system so that you have even more overshield when you summon out Fendor. Experiment, try different things. Not one way is going to be the only way that works. There are going to be multiple ways for you to win the game because there are multiple ways that you can use these monsters, multiple ways you can combine these monsters together to not only help each other but help you while you're playing. So there's all kinds of options. Definitely explore them all. Like, just explore them all, enjoy them all. Like, heck, you don't even need Cacticane. You could take out Volcor, put in Cacticane. You could have neither of them and have Beacon instead and a DFA if you want to be really dangerous. You have some behind the lines spawning that you don't have to pay attention to. And then you got a bunch of attack characters. But if you do want to do the quote-unquote factory build, it is basically this, though you want to make sure you have a healer, you want to have some defenders, preferably ranged, and then your spawners. So this is the factory build. More than welcome to try it out. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. Don't use it, because, I mean, that's not for your playstyle. That's why you want to try out different things. Some of you, this might work really well for you, and that's awesome. If it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a better deck within this video. I'm sure I've made other videos, so don't hesitate to try out those decks, or hopefully at least me describing the monsters and the way that you can use them will help you to better imagine how you're going to use your deck and your abilities. I don't know. But either way, I hope you enjoyed it. If we do play games together, I really do hope that we both enjoy it. If you don't, that kind of sucks because you want to enjoy a game. So I do hope that we enjoy it together, even if we're fighting against each other. Even if you're pummeling the heck out of me, I hope that I still enjoy it or that you still enjoy it. I'm going to do my best to enjoy it even when I'm losing because it's a game and games are supposed to be fun. And having fun means that you're enjoying yourself. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can use something out of it. Until next time and every time, just be safe.